Dear friends in Jesus Christ, we have received a lot of blessings, graces, signs and wonders from God. But still, we seek a sign from God like Pharisees and the scribes who demand a sign from Jesus. First, let us know what sign is. Sign is nothing but an event that is an indication and confirmation of the transcendental powers. When we read book of Isaiah chapter 7, when Lord promised King Ahaz that you will be saved from the political enemy, Isaiah tells the king to ask a sign from God. But king refused to ask a sign. Even though he refused, God gave him the sign of Emmanuel, that is, God is with us. When we read the second book of Kings, chapter 20, when King Hezekiah was seriously ill and sick, he cried to God and prayed to him. Lord heard his prayer and he said, after 3 days you will be healed from your sickness. When King Hezekiah was healed, he asked Isaiah, what will be the sign that I will be healed? But Isaiah said, whatever the Lord promised, it will be the sign. When we read letter to the Hebrews chapter 2 verse 3 to 4, the Lord's salvation was first announced through signs and wonders and various miracles. If you believe in Jesus' words, we will also receive a lot of signs in our life. As centurion who believed in Jesus' words, his servant was healed. As official who believed in Jesus' words, his son was healed. So let us believe in Jesus' words. When we read the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 22, it says that Jews demand signs, Greeks demand wisdom, but I preach the crucified Lord. This is what we see in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 12, verses 38 to 41. The Pharisees and the scribes who were Jews, and they demand a sign from Jesus. But Jesus refused to give a sign except the sign of prophet Jonah. We may ask a question in our minds, why Jesus gives a sign of prophet Jonah? In the Old Testament, prophet Jonah was called by God to go to the city of Nineveh. But Jonah escaped from the presence of God. So God used wind and the sea whale to be brought back prophet Jonah to the city of Nineveh, where he preached about forgiveness and the repentance of God. The people of Nineveh repented from the sinful activity. Because of that, prophet Jonah became the sign to the people of Nineveh. In the same way, Jesus also performed many miracles and the healing power. But the Pharisees and the scribes failed to recognize that Jesus himself is the sign, and he was speaking about his death and resurrection. Eucharistic is also one of the great signs that Jesus has given to us. Because when we celebrate the Eucharist, we commemorate Jesus' death and resurrection in our day-to-day life. Yes, dear friends, we also fall into the same category of people like Pharisees and the scribes. Even though we receive a lot of signs and wonders, we still seek for a sign from God. We may ask a question in our minds, Lord, where are you? Why you are not talking to us? But God speaking to us every day silently. But we need to recognize and realize his words through our faith. So let us ask God to give us the grace to recognize and to realize and to experience God's sign in our life. Amen.